In 1983 at a beach in the north of New Zealand, a pod of pilot whales ran aground during a low tide. It's pretty common here in parts of the country. The locals came out and did their best to keep the whales alive, sponging their skin, calming them down, all that sort of thing, waiting for the tide to come back in. But often, even when the tide is high enough so they can leave, the whales have trouble orientating themselves and frequently just beach themselves again. On this day, a nearby pod of dolphins somehow figured out what was happening. They knew that the whales were in trouble and they swam into the shallows, putting themselves between the whales and the beach, in amongst the people already there trying to help. And the dolphins herded the pilot whales out to sea, straight into the harpoons of an illegal Japanese whaling fleet. 76 of 80 whales died that day, but the sushi bars rocked for the next few weeks. True story that. There are many stories of dolphins and indeed whales helping people, helping lost ships, guiding them to safe waters, showing them the way. Why tell you all this? Well, you're going to have to keep watching to figure that one out. So what game are we looking at here? Well, of course, it is. I picked this game up on super special for about US $2.50. I know that's all, but it does generally sell for about $15, and I will say this now that it was the best $2.50 in gaming terms that I've spent in a long time. Giving an overview of a game like this is not easy, as if you show too much, it destroys the story, much like a stripper getting fully nude, destroying the mystery. There are tons of playthroughs out there, so if you want to ruin everything, just go watch one of those. But perhaps you're a punter that likes a surprise, that likes a bit of titillation, likes an adventure. In that case, you should watch this, as I'm only going to show a bit of leg here and leave the rest to your youthful imagination. So you play this little red-cloaked chappie who is on a journey. When you start, who the hell knows what you're meant to be doing, to be honest, but it seemed to have something to do with getting spiritual energy from these cloths and also freeing these rags and in turn making your own scarf, which is kind of a cloth, more powerful and more energized. The higher the energy, the higher you can jump. Well, it's sort of like flying, to be honest. As you complete each chapter, you will be guided by a spiritual being who then shows you some weird wall drawing, which you will eventually realize shows what you have done and also what you have not done. It's all very well done, and that is 2 more dones than was needed, but don't forget I'm just an amateur YouTuber. As you progress on your journey, you will have many wow moments where the camera pans out showing some majestic scene or similar. You get a real artistic eye feast. It's quite wonderful. Interactions with the world are simple and require minimal thought, but each is well depicted, and as you open up parts of the landscape you are playing in, the path forward is, for the most part, clearly laid out. Like a Brazilian, the game is linear, but due to the way you move through it, it feels anything but, and the end result, if you find the right location, is just joy. As the game progressed, I eagerly waited for the next cutscene or sequence. They were that good, but they weren't some graphics-driven, amazing wow factor. They were just artistically well done. And people forget this at times with games. A good game is art. But getting back to my intro, there was a moment in the game that I realized that I was being guided by magical cloths. They drifted around, darting here and there, calling out from time to time. They drew my attention to things. They were the dolphins showing a lost sailor the way. It was truly brilliantly done. Like a lot of these games, I read nothing about them before playing, so I give myself the full stripper treat, and this led to what I guess you'd call a profound moment when I realized I found another fellow traveler. I had no idea this would occur. I thought I was playing single player, but it turns out I wasn't quite. The game surprised me like a grope in the darkness on a first date with a she only defined as a he or a they. Without full disclosure beforehand, a surprise would surely be had, and certainly that's what happened to me here. The game itself is art. It took me 2.5 hours to complete, and that was not rushing. I think a lot of people would not like to pay full price for this game just due to how little time you get. Most people want at least 30 or 40 hours for a game nowadays, but regardless of your view on that, it is really superb. Pay whatever you want for it, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And finally, here are some small clips to show you a bit of upper thigh, but not too much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Got this far, you're bloody legends.